So today the question is, why aren't your peonies flowering? It's one of the most common questions that I get about peonies. So it's peony season. I thought it would be a great time to give you 6 reasons why they may not be flowering so you can do some troubleshooting at home. And then at the end of the video, we're going to talk about what you can do to change that. So today we're talking about our herbaceous peonies. And we buy and plant these gorgeous beauties for their flowers. So it's a bit frustrating when you don't get flowers and all you get are just some lush green leaves. I will say their leaves are beautiful, but it's not the reason why we buy them. So they are appropriate for zones 3 through 8. They do love their cooler winters. And I'm in zone 6B, by the way. And once they get going and they start flowering, they should be low maintenance and last 50 plus years. So I know a lot of people that will pass these down to the next generation. So a really lovely, fragrant, large bloom appears on these perennials in the late spring. They come in many different colors and floral styles. They're beautiful in the garden. The pollinators love them and they look beautiful in bouquets. So they're very well known for their beauty, their fragrance, and also their symbolism because they do symbolize love, romance, and they have some cultural symbolisms of wealth and good fortune. So there's a lot to love about them. But when they don't flower, it is super frustrating. So let's start by talking about the 6 reasons why your peonies may not be flowering. So number one reason is they love their full sun. So I do have a couple in my yard that the gardens have grown up through the years and now they're currently in a little more shade and they're just not doing as well. So I'm going to show you a little video clip of those. But I would say a minimum of 4 to 6 hours of sun per day. And the one I have in front of me here, I have a little group here, they get 6 plus hours. They do fabulous. They get a ton of morning sun. So that's reason number one, possibly not enough sun. Reason number two is if you buy an immature peony plant and plant it, it's going to take a while to throw out some blooms. So I would say you won't start getting blooms for 2 to 3 years, and that will be very slow going. Your plant will not be covered in blooms like this for a few years. So simply the age or maturity of your plant. Number three reason is if you've relocated a plant. So there's several reasons why you may do that. You may have inherited one and you're moving it from another yard. And peonies really don't love to be transplanted. So once you transplant them, they will take a while to get going. Number four is too much nitrogen. So if your peonies get too much nitrogen, you will end up having some really lush foliage and no flowers. So a lot of times this will happen to my clients that have their peonies closer to the edge of the garden, adjacent to the lawn, and if their lawns get fertilized with high nitrogen fertilizer, then just leaves no flowers. So number five is fungal diseases. So they are susceptible to some fungal diseases and especially botrytis. And what will happen is you will get a bud and then that's it. The bud will fall off. It won't fully develop, and that is such a bummer. And number six is they've been planted too deep. So they really need the crown where the buds start to form right below the soil surface. So no more than an inch. So if they are planted too deeply, then you will not see any buds. So let's talk about some troubleshooting and what you can do to resolve your problems. So number one is you want to plant in the right location. So you want to plant in your full sun. So 4 to 6 hours minimum of sun. Next is you want to practice proper planting practices. And I just want to talk for a second a little more about that. So remember, no more than an inch, the crown should be below the surface level. Now, if you mulch your gardens every year, which I highly recommend, it's what we do for our clients, you want to make sure to pull the mulch back a little bit from the crown. Otherwise, through the years, your peonies will get buried a little bit deeper and they will stop flowering. So just a little extra hot tip from me. The next thing you can do if you want a lot of blooms sooner is when you purchase your plants, purchase a more mature plant. So your nursery pots will be 1 to 5 gallon sizes. If you can get a minimum of a 2-gallon size, then that's going to be more likely to throw out some blooms for you. So next is when you fertilize your peonies, you want a well-balanced fertilizer. So lower in nitrogen. So remember, when you look at your fertilizer, you'll see 3 numbers on the package, and the first number refers to the nitrogen, and you want that number to be lower. And then the last thing that you can do is you can manage your fungal diseases. So if you have to, you can use a fungicide on your plant, and that should help. Now, if your plant is diseased, you always want to make sure that you remove any diseased foliage. You want to rake it up, you want to bag it, don't put it in your compost, and don't leave it out in your garden. So now we're at the end of the video, but what I will say, because we touched upon this a little bit, is if you are having some issues with your peony, the best thing that you can do is go ahead and relocate it. And I mentioned they don't love to be relocated, so you're going to have to do a little work digging them up because they can have tap roots up to 3 feet and a lot of fibrous roots. So go wide and go deep and relocate it, and then have some patience, because patience, my friend, will mean that you will eventually get some blooms if you do all the proper things and give it a really nice location. So I have one behind me I want to show you here that is not blooming, and I know a lot of you at home get frustrated, but this one here is a younger plant, so it's not as mature. And in an instance like this, all you have to do is just have some patience and plant a variety of your peonies in different colors, buy different size nursery stock, nursery pots, so you can stagger your blooms and plant them, enjoy, and have fun with it. So thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you all watching at home. If you liked this video and it did help you, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel, because I have a lot more gardening and gardening tips and tricks coming your way.